Guys, this is Millie Weaver. Sorry for the delay, but tonight we have a very special live stream planned for you guys. Tonight I'm going to be premiering my new documentary, Big Data is Watching. So, Big Data is Watching is a film about the impeding data technocracy pushed on us by Big Brother and by the deep state, where essentially they are collecting all of our data from our smart devices, our electronics, everything out there on the internet, and they are consolidating it and putting it into these analytics AI programs that can literally crunch out and give them predictive models and predictive software that they can use against us in many ways. So the reason why this issue is key is because the data collection is really affecting almost every facet of our life. We're just not quite aware of it right now. It's probably one of the biggest threats right now to humanity as it is. And other voices in tech, including like Elon Musk, for example, have been vocal that AI is currently the greatest threat to humanity. Well, why is that? Why is AI such a threat? Well, if it's in the hands of good people, I could see it being something that could really make our lives easier. It might help with medical advancements. But if it's in the hands of tyrants and people like the Biden administration or like some of these corrupt career politicians that we see so often throughout governments, then we're in a lot of trouble, because they could use this technology to go after their political opponents in a way that Hitler could have never dreamed of doing. The ability to target somebody through their smart devices is now insanely technically sophisticated. Let's just put it that way. It is insane how they can know what you're likely to vote for before you vote. They can know how you're likely to vote. They can know your emotional behavior. And oftentimes they have actually data sets on each individual that include thousands of points. So they're definitely learning and studying us. And that's one of the things that we go into in my film, Big Data is Watching. Not only are they just watching you, but they're actually studying you. Yes, there are digital anthropologists and digital ethnography scientists that actually study you like something out of the National Geographic. I'm not even kidding you. They're learning about us. They want to know what makes us tick so they can better learn how to control us and how to essentially use us like cattle, and in order to monetize us. They want to monetize our privacy, and they want to sell it to big corporations and to the government. It's pretty disturbing and alarming, but yes, this is going on right now, and they're using data in such a sophisticated way now in order to further steal and rig elections. I won't go too far into it on YouTube because I'm simulcasting from multiple social media platforms right now. So tonight I'm going to be live streaming it on my Rumble and on QX, as well as on Twitch. So if you're following me on any of those platforms, QX, if you're a QXbox owner, you'll be able to watch it on there for free tonight. Twitch, as well as Rumble. It will not be up on YouTube because it will probably get my account flagged and taken down. So I advise you guys to pop over to one of my other social media feeds if you want to be able to watch it tonight. So it'll be up tonight for free because this information is so key. We just have to get it out to people. If you want to watch it at another point in time or rewatch it, you could do so at MillennialMillie.com, where you can rent it, or you can also do it on my locals. So if you join my locals community, you'll have endless access to it and other exclusive content that I put out. But the reason why this documentary is key and has literally been something I've been working on for months now is because I haven't seen anything that really scares me like this does. This terrifies me. The advancements they have in AI are really quite alarming. Many of you guys out there who have young daughters, young children, teenagers, right? you see them putting their photos up on social media, for example, and you don't think to yourself, oh, nothing, you think that's, oh, how cute, how fun. Nothing bad could ever come of sharing a photo of yourself, could it? Well, apparently we have more vulnerabilities now due to these AI programs than we ever did before. One example is these new AI porn generators where they essentially take photographs of girls out there on the internet and they can put them into these AI porn generators and essentially produce images that look real of that girl in a pornographic photo and put them all over the internet. This is something that's already happening. In fact, it is happening to prominent YouTubers right now. There's been YouTubers who have had complete meltdowns, crying, and just dealing with emotional trauma of being targeted in that way on the internet. So we actually have to start reevaluating our presence and our footprint on the internet, because those things that we thought were innocent and that we didn't ever worry about are now going to be things that we're going to have to start worrying about because of some of these new technological advancements. Not only are they taking advantage in that way, but they're also taking advantage in the work sector, right? Like many of these new AI programs have learned and studied us so well on, say, Twitter, social media, for example, that they have AI programs that can tweet so realistically that it seems like it's a real person. And in fact, people can pay these new AI bots or programs to tweet for them. So no longer do you know if everyone that you're hearing from on social media is in fact a real person. It might be a bot tweeting for a real person, or it altogether might be a fake bot account that has no real basis in reality, so to speak. So there's that, but there's also AI that are currently writing articles. Did you know that? You might have read an article and not known that it was actually written by an AI bot. So I guess those writers aren't going to have jobs for very long. Many different ways right now, they're already trying to replace the working class with AI and with robotics and machines. And that's kind of one of the things I think a lot of people have been talking about and vocal about, worrying about jobs disappearing, but it goes beyond that. It goes into security issues and vulnerabilities. And I, for one, don't like the idea of not having privacy in the home. Oftentimes, you have private conversations with your loved ones, for example, like this woman who had a private conversation with her husband in her home next to her Amazon device, Alexa. Well, Alexa started recording the conversation that she was having with her husband and decided to send it to her husband's employee. And they only found out about it because the employee called up his boss essentially and said, hey, turn off all your devices. I just got sent a conversation that you guys were having in your home, and obviously you didn't know. And this is really creepy. Come to find out, Amazon didn't really know why it happened, but it happened nonetheless. And this is really scary because so many people think these devices are cute and fun, and they don't think about the fact that it's listening to every single conversation in your home. So if Americans are having all these private conversations around their smart televisions, their smart TV boxes, their smart phones, their smart Amazon Echoes or Alexas and all these different devices, all that information is actually being typed out. It is being transcribed, and then it's being put into these AI models when people are purchasing that data on the other end. Just like the movie 2000 Mules. Do you remember Dinesh D'Souza's 2000 Mules movie? If you haven't seen it, that's another really good movie that you guys should watch. Well, True the Vote purchased that cell phone geo-ping location tracking data, meaning every time you're carrying your phone around, it's actually pinging to the cell phone tower, and it is telling that cell phone tower your exact location at that exact moment. And so they're able to use that data when they purchased it after the fact, True the Vote, and they were able to map out individuals that went in contact with these mail-in ballot boxes, essentially, And that's how they were able to find all these supposed mules, because these people were visiting the mail-in drop box location numerous times a day, even at like 5 in the morning. And they're like, okay, this is not normal. This is unusual activity. Well, think of it this way. If True the Vote can purchase this data after the fact, who has lifetime access to that data in real time? And whoever has that, imagine what they could do with that information lifetime. I mean, they could know everything about the status of the election as it's happening. They could know how many ballots are needed in a specific county in order to flip the vote, so to speak. But here's the thing. I'm not going to get too much into it because it's all going to come out in the documentary. You're going to get to see all this information, and you're also going to get to see the timeline of cancel culture and social media censorship as it happened, and at least from the perspective of people who have been banned, including from me, who I was front row and center to a lot of this going on. So you're going to get to see that as well. So before I try to, I don't want to give you guys too many spoilers here, but I really wanted to also talk about solutions, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, I'm not one of those people who likes to just sit there and complain about it. I'm a solutions-oriented person. I saw the writing on the wall back in 2018 when Alex Jones got banned from multiple social media platforms all unilaterally, okay? I realized right then and there, this is a big problem, and I'm probably going to be next, and there's going to be a lot of other people that are also going to be next. And at that point, I started kind of panicking because I'm like, well, if they shut us off the internet, if they shut us up and make us digitally disappear, we all become very vulnerable, especially those out there who are speaking out and who have expressed dissident-like opinions against the powers that be. So that is where we started our journey and our beginning with looking into a solution. Every which way we went, we would peel back the layers of the onion, and we just kept finding that it kept on going. You know, it's like you try to deal with it on the social media aspect. Oh, well, you can get pulled at the server end, or you can get pulled from the domain, or you could get pulled from the app store. And I think you guys all know about Parler and how they got really negatively affected in that way. But that's not enough, right? It goes beyond that. Even if you get the servers, even if you have your own hosting, even if you decide to build your own electronics device, like we did with QX, there's another layer to that. And that is payment processing. So unless you actually build out your own payment rails and payment processing, you can't really be free. So most people don't know that oftentimes websites, including social media sites, or even these electronic companies, are beholden to payment processors. So if they don't have their own processor, guess what? Processors can yank that away as well and just destroy and cripple a business. So we went out and did that as well. We ventured out and got our own payment processing because we realized you have to keep going, because until you actually have the private banking connections and your own payment rails and payment processor and your own entire network, your own entire intranet, you cannot break free because the entire system is controlled. And it's not that easy to actually break free from it. It really isn't. That's the craziest part. We've all just accepted this reality. Like, how hard is it to actually build a website, right? Like Facebook, okay? They just ventured out and did it, and it grew as they started doing it. It grew with them, and it grew to what it is now, only because we, the people, supported it. So be careful of what you support. You need to look into these things and be careful what you don't support. Because if you're not supporting companies that are for freedom and for protecting your constitutional rights, if they're just out there to make a profit, then that's going to come back to haunt not only you, it's going to haunt everyone. It's going to haunt future generations, and we're going to be in the situation that we're in right now. Well, I wanted to show you guys a couple things. I wanted to kind of demo some stuff here that we've done and accomplished, but we did it only because we had the support from the people. So I want to give a special shout out and thank you actually to my QUX family, meaning all the test pilots, all the people out there who believed in QX and believed in freedom, believed in tech freedom, and got out there and ventured out to support something that would be new and competitive to big tech. And what I will say is that we have seriously come a long way. We have literally created something out of just miracles, okay? And it is amazing to see how many people have gotten onto QX, have started building out their portals, started building out their merchant stores as well. And we're excited because we have live streaming capabilities on QX now, uploading all that fun stuff, even have a live chat. So let's go ahead and I'm going to demo some of this for you guys here, and stay tuned because I am going to be live premiering my new documentary tonight for free. So as soon as I'm done demoing this, you guys are going to get to watch the movie for free. Big tech is watching you. Big data is watching you. Okay, so let's go ahead here, and I'm going to grab one of these remotes. I'm excited to demo this for you guys because it's been a while. I know you guys have kind of been like, where's Millie at? Well, I've been actually out there trying to save America and save the world. It sounds pretty cheesy and corny, but it literally is what I've been trying to do. And we've created something that I believe is the only chance that we have. It's literally the only chance, the only opportunity. Nothing else comes anywhere near to a real solution that I have seen as of yet. If any of you guys have seen anything, please let me know. Something that's actually covered all the bases that QX has, please let me know. All right, so now we've got, all right. So this is like the inside of the QX UI, all right? Up here we have the search bar, the home page, the portal universe page, app store, the marketplace, your shopping cart, and then your favorites. So check it out. This is the home page here where you've got advertisement, banner space, other portals. You've got, so each of these portals are, it's basically somebody can create their own portal where they can have their photos, their videos, their shop, their store, their music, any of that information and content that they want to have, they can have it in there. They can choose to monetize it or sell it however which way they want. And they can do that using encrypted tokens. And they don't have to ever worry about being canceled or shut down. That's the key part, because this is part of what they're trying to do with this cancel culture where they shut you down and debank you. All right, so this is what the homepage looks like. But now I want to kind of quickly go over to actually where the Portal Universe page is. And this is where you'll also find the stream list. So the stream list is, let me see. It is down here. And I've got, sorry. These people are usually streaming earthquakes. But I think I haven't started the stream yet on the website. So let me go ahead and do that first. Let me see. It's crazy because these people have been streaming all the earthquakes on QX. Just some people who are QX users, and they were some of the first people to actually see and catch on to the big earthquake that happened in Turkey. Let me see. Okay, there we go. Oh. All right, so Gavin, you want to go ahead and put your password in really quick without anyone seeing? But yeah, so this is interesting. This is somebody going live right now on QX. They're just essentially live streaming earthquake and weather monitoring. And, you know, we get people live streaming various different content at different times. But this is definitely one of the ones that seems to be always live streaming. So if you ever need updated information on earthquakes, there's that. But look, so I guess I'll show you what Gavin's doing here. So this is actually inside of the portal generator. Okay, so inside the portal generator, you can see that that's where you would go live from. So you can go live from there on your laptop or your computer, or you could also do it from your phone and essentially be streaming into the QX TV box, right? So anyone who's at home who has their QX TV box will be able to see the live streams of those people who decide to stream into their portal right here. So there you go. They're streaming. So let's see. And so you just pick like a thumbnail, all that stuff. Oh, it looks like, I thought I saw something. You just pick your thumbnail when you do it. Oh, okay, look, there it is. All right, so you guys just saw us create a portal. And here we go. Hopefully it's connected in with the stream I'm doing right now. Oh, wait, there it goes.
It's going to infinity.
Oh, it is going to infinity. Because it's me streaming me. Okay, so how would I show it? Okay, so you see the microphone? It's bizarre. Yeah, so it's literally just going into infinity right now.
It's literally a portal to a new digital.
Yeah. It's me streaming into it. That is so trippy. But here I am. I guess here that's a good way you could see it. Because there should be multiple Millies. Is there multiple Millies? There I am. Whee! I'm going live on QX. And it's not just me who's watching this. It's the over about 2,400 QX users right now. They're able to watch this right now as we're speaking. That is like weird. We're in some kind of quantum internet, aren't we? This is bizarre. Look at all this, like the universe, the infinite Millies. Could you imagine a universe of infinite Millies? That's what it would look like. Oh, but yeah, pretty cool, huh? I mean, that is something, guys. That is something spectacular. That is amazing. When you have your, other TV boxes out there like Roku's and others, you can't say that you can actually do this with it and create your own television channel. Like, you could, if you guys get your own QX box, you could live stream or stream from it and get your family members a QX box or tell them to get a QX box, and you could be like, look, Mom, I'm on TV, right? Anyone can be on television now. It is the best way to describe QX, I would say, is like social media television, because not only is it TV to where anyone can create their own TV presence and channel, but there's a live chat, there's a live function as well. So right now, we have the mouse plugged in, which, by the way, you can actually plug anything really into these USB ports here. So you could have it just with the remote, the wireless remote, but you can use a plethora of different wireless keyboards, wireless devices. We sell a wireless keyboard as well at the store on QX. So I would highly recommend them. They're super cool. They're like little tablet thingies that on the bottom is a mouse, like a mouse tracking pad, and on the top is a keypad, so you could engage really quickly in the live chat if you want to comment while somebody's live streaming from your couch, essentially. So right here, we've got live chat. I don't see anyone in there yet. We've got a store, which I don't have any products put on there yet, but I'm going to be putting them on there soon. But those are some of the features you have for QX. And the other day when I was live streaming, because I live streamed for everyone on QX, my documentary, Big Data's Watching You, and we did have people in the chat because they all knew that I was going to be live streaming and when to go watch it and whatnot. But this has been a little bit more spontaneous today. I've been working on a different time schedule because I've been doing these new Twitter Spaces, which you guys should definitely check them out. I'll be doing another Twitter Space as well tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and it kind of goes for hours. But it's not just me, it's the whole American Mission team. So a bunch of different people on there doing the stream together. It's really fun. But we will soon be doing those. I will find a way for us to get some of those streams going into QX. And I'm definitely going to be putting more content up on QX as well.
Point at the camera and then point at the TV at the same spot.
How's that work? Like this?
And then point over there. Touch the same spot.
Wait, what?
Like point here and then wait for it over there.
Okay, because there's a little bit of a delay. Okay, so here's the delay. Let's see. Woo. That's trippy. It's what it would be like if I had an identical twin. Is that trippy? All right, so basically I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of a demo and just show some of the capabilities on QX that you can literally do right now as we speak. On QX, if you guys are somebody who wants to start doing independent journalism, going out there and being the Paul Reveres that are much needed, because believe me, there's a lot less real, true, patriotic, organic journalists out there than you realize. There are plenty of people who either are created out of thin air by modeling agencies, or they are cherry picked off and bought off, right? So if you're somebody who wants to get into real types of journalism or just communicate with your community, this is a great tool to do so. It's not even just a tool for journalism. If you're somebody who has a business, what a great thing to be able to be live streaming, say, you making your arts and crafts project or your DIY home decor, or making videos about your handy person work in your town and putting it on here. Different services that you might have. You can be putting videos up, informational videos. There's a lot of moms out there who like to do homeschooling. This would be a great tool for homeschooling and creating that content for young homeschoolers out there in an atmosphere where they can watch it in a safe environment. Because on QX, we have rating categories. So that means that parents can create profiles for their children that have basically age settings on there and can limit what type of content they can see. So you might choose to have Y7 content, so Y and Y7 content for your child, or you might want Y, basically to PG-13, right? Or you want to go up to the rating of free speech, right? Which I think this is the coolest category, free speech category. And so it kind of goes up from there, but the way we deal with content moderation, which I wouldn't even call it moderation, is we essentially we let the people themselves moderate the content instead of some edict from some people sitting in a Silicon Valley chair deciding, oh, sorry, we don't want you to be able to watch this because we don't think it's good. We think it's bad. In this instance, you get to pick and choose what you want yourself and your family to be able to see. Is this one plugged in, or are we still dealing with the mouse? Oh, I think I had the other remote. That's the problem with us. We've got too many of these boxes. I've got mixing up remotes here. Okay, here we go. So how do I get out? How do I log? Oh, there I go. I logged out. That's usually the first thing you see. Okay, so right here.
Profile.
Okay, edit profile.
Mm-hmm. Or add user.
Or add user. Okay, so usually what you can do is you could create as many of these user profiles as you want to. And each user profile, you can have their own settings and their own pin. So that means if you have different family members, they could actually have their profile set to the type of content they like, right? So maybe you have like a teenage daughter and all she wants to watch is like fashion or makeup stuff or whatever. Her selection, her settings, everything is going to be unique to her profile. Same with like, if you had your own for your parent, for you, for your child, it would all be unique. Okay, so here you can see the different rating categories. So I could just put in a name like Millie, right? And then, well, I don't know if do I have to put in a username? You know what it is? I don't remember my username off the top of my head. So your username actually has to match So when you create a username, you need to remember to have your username the same, and then you can put whatever name you want. And then you just essentially click on whichever rating category you want to have. Say if I clicked Y, I'd only have Y. If I did Y7, I'd have Y7 and Y. If I did this one, it'd be all of these and under. You know, mature, all of those and under. Free speech, all those and under. Questionable, all those and under. And X, all those and under. So basically, we've got all these categories so that the users can actually bump content out of categories if they think that it's not appropriate for the category. But obviously we have teams that we look at it, but things don't get removed. Nothing gets banned literally unless we have a warrant or it is illegal content. So obviously no child pornography, snuff films, people being murdered, like things that are actually criminal in nature, you can't have on anything. It's against the law. So that type of content, of course, it's not going to be on here, but anything else that, you know, falls into certain categories, that's where it's going to end up. And really the people at the end of the day are the ones who are going to vote on it and have the say as to where it goes. So hopefully you guys kind of got a good idea of what QX is. And if you are somebody who is a merchant, I highly suggest getting on here because we are literally about to open up our store soon. We're going to be putting the token system live, and get in on there early. Start building out your stores. Already you have over about 2,400 customers ready to start making purchases and check out the new products. And so this is a good way for not only us to all grow together, but this is going to help small mom and pop businesses that are being taken out by the knees by some of these hyper competitive companies like Amazon and these other e-commerce stores as well. I'll never forget the conversation I had with one of our test pilots when we did one of our Zoom meetings, and she was telling me about how she was so grateful and just overwhelmed to be part of the QX program because her and a bunch of other small business owners on Etsy, for, you know, that's what she said, that they were dealing with so much stuff that it was insane. And a lot of this stuff I really didn't even know fully what was going on at the time. And she said that, you know, she made DIY home decorations and she liked to film herself doing the decor, and she would put it for sale on Etsy, and people would purchase them because they loved it and she was making good money. And then what happens is these e-commerce stores, they'll sell that data on the purchases and the sales numbers to third-party companies like Target, Walmart, Amazon, etc., for example. And those big companies will then go and literally knock that product off and have it made cheaply in China. And then next thing you know, these small business owners who are creative and just, you know, are the ones creating these products, they get taken, you know, they get ripped off essentially. They walk through, imagine walking through Walmart and seeing something you designed and created, for example, and that's on the shelves being sold and you get nothing out of it, right? And now people aren't purchasing yours because it's a little bit more than what the slave labor in China could produce. So with QX, merchants aren't going to have to worry about that because none of that information goes anywhere. They're the only ones who have access to that information as to their sales numbers. No one else gets to see that. And so they don't have to worry about these other big hyper competitive companies knowing their sales numbers. If some other big company wants to scroll through our marketplace, they're going to have no idea which products are selling really well and which aren't. And good, because it's not right. And if they really like a product, they should approach that vendor, that seller who's created that, and they should make them a fair value offer on that product to then largely distribute it. But no more of this people getting screwed over by these big corporate billionaires. I'm not for it. I know a lot of people aren't. Another way that you have cancel culture stuff going on with business owners is we've seen this happen where these leftist mobs will go, like you'll see a hit piece written on a small business owner, for example. Like I'm not saying this happened with the cake bakers, but I'll use that as an example. So those bakers that didn't want to make the gay cake, the LGBTQ cake, for example. So say you have another cake baker out there, and they don't want to, because it's against their religious values, to make an LGBTQ cake, right? What you'll see happen is all these hip pieces come out on that person, and then next thing you know, you'll have, hold on, woo, excuse me, I had to sneeze. Next thing you know, you'll have mobs of these like cancel culture leftist angry psychos that will go to their site and they'll actually make purchases just to flag them to return, right? Just to try to get them caught up with the payment processors with these chargebacks, so to speak. Like, I'm talking making a purchase the same day and asking for a chargeback within hours of that purchase. That's the kind of stuff that happens. And the problem is if you get too many of those chargebacks as a company, the processor can cancel you, and then it'll make it harder for you to get other processors. So there are all kinds of tactics and ways that some of these psycho people out there try to engage in cancel culture. And so it's key for us to start thinking of ways to protect ourselves from being canceled because of our political views or even because of our religious views. I, for one, think that, you would never think that people would stoop to go that low to try to ruin people's lives. But believe me, we're having our minds blown every day with how low some of these crazies will go to try to ruin people, ruin their lives, get them fired from jobs, all kinds of crazy stuff. It's also something that, we're also trying to address some of the issues with social media harming people psychologically and mentally, because they literally target people in psychological operations, literally. And you guys are going to get to see more of that in the film tonight and how they do that. It's not a joke, okay? This isn't conspiratorial. This is real information. And when you have people talking about actual scientific studies that they're doing to try to manipulate and sway the emotions of people on social media without their knowledge, it'll become very clear to you that we are just a big science experiment to them right now. Every one of you out there who has children, teenagers on these social media devices, they're getting into them. They're getting to them through these devices. I think that's partially why we're seeing so many of these young people falling into believing all of a sudden that they have gender dysphoria, or believing all of a sudden that they identify as something they're not, and all these different things, because they can be targeted on social media with the content, and they can be pushed to believe certain things. It's really alarming. And there are ways that we can protect ourselves against that. And one of the ways we protect ourselves against that is by protecting our data, right? So that's the most important thing, protecting our data. But also, when you don't have an AI algorithm that's trying to psychologically warp your mind and shove content into a feed, then it's a little bit more safer viewing for young people. And so that's one of the main reasons I myself, as a mother, am really excited about this, because, I have a 7-year-old son who is like any other kid out there and wants to watch videos, right? And I swear to you, it's like any second he tries to get on YouTube, and they don't really have the best way of having kid content available while at the same time making sure that content that's extremely inappropriate isn't being labeled as kid content. So that's one of the things that we are really going to work toward and be able to protect in a better way on QUX, is by having these rating categories and rating systems where content can be categorized. So I could make that setting to where he would, he could go on QX any day through his profile, and I could rest easy knowing he's only going to see the content that I have allowed for permissions and settings on there. And he won't be able to access the search bar and potentially search content that is inappropriate or might be damaging psychologically. You wouldn't believe it, but there's a lot of kids out there who are being exposed to horrible things, and it's traumatizing them. And one of the top things they actually said, which is why we're actually going to try to get these things into schools so that schools can use them for their digital days or their homeschool type sessions when they have them, because sometimes kids have snow days or digital days, right? It's also because, especially even with online homeschools too, because on a lot of online homeschools, what they'll do is they'll just ship kids out a little Chromebook or mini laptop computer, and they've done research into these school laptops that they give out, and the amount of adult websites that these kids are going to on their school laptops is insane, right? Just through the search bar and the browsing, they're watching all kinds of horrible content, and how many of these kids are being warped, in their sexuality just because they're being exposed to stuff at an early age that they shouldn't be. Okay, so here's something else I want to talk about. This is super exciting, okay? So, on QX, we are now going to be offering a cable subscription. So, just in case you're like, hey, that's great. You guys want to create all your portals, but while you're waiting for more people to get on there and create portals, you're actually going to be able to have cable television on there. So, check it out. Cable TV on QX by subscription. You can pay for the whole bit in a yearly subscription, or you can pay monthly, but this is extremely comparable in price to traditional cable. I think a lot of people spend, I would say, some people spend like $60 a month on cable TV, which I don't even have cable TV here at my house. We don't even watch cable TV, but maybe I will start watching cable TV now because it's only going to be about $15 a month for all these different channels, including Fox News, Tucker Carlson, can't even say it, Tucker Carlson, right? All these different things you'll be able to have for a fraction of the price, right? So just take that into consideration, all right? And if it were me, I would probably just pay for the yearly subscription up front, and then, that would be that. But yeah, that's it's a fraction of the price of cable television, and you get tons of different channels on here. So this is something that people could do in the meantime, where they can literally have all these different television channels and essentially throw away their other cable subscription. And when you guys get these subscriptions, right there, see? When you guys get the subscription for QX TV, cable television, you are supporting QX so that QX can continue to grow and further develop itself, so that we can get more and more people to have boxes in their hands and more people to start creating content and creating portals. So the bottom line is this: we need your support and your help, okay? We are a startup company that is 100% supported by you, the people. Actually can't how it's going to take them out by the knees, but there's a lot of that I think Gavin, who's here with us tonight, would possibly help go into and talk about. being on there, making content, putting it up.
So apparently we didn't have a bunch of audio. I think you should just cut to the film.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut to the film now. And let me see. Where's the switcher?
Right here.
Can you put it to the... A lot of energy and effort went into this movie, and if you guys do enjoy it, because I am broadcasting this tonight for all y'all for free tonight, if you guys like the movie, if you enjoyed and appreciate it, the best way you could show that appreciation is to either tip me on Cash App, and I have my Cash App link on my YouTube channel, or if you can't do that, that's completely fine. Go to QX.tv and make sure you guys check out QX, at least look into it. Might be a good idea to get yourself a QX box sooner than later before we sell out of this batch. So get on there. This thing's going to start flying off the shelf. I already got a bunch of other big name reporters and journalists affiliated who are going to start pushing this box really hard. So I hope you guys enjoy the film. I hope that you learn a lot and you learn different ways that you can protect your family while watching this film. Enjoy. Ever notice that the New World Order is like a really bad door-to-door salesman?
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order
that just won't leave you alone and go away. They're more like that nosy neighbor that peeps on you with binoculars, crossed with the creepy door-to-door salesman.
We established a liberal world order, and that hadn't happened in a long while. A lot of people dying, but nowhere near the chaos. And now is the time when things are shifting. There's gonna be a new world order out there.
It's a never-ending battle, all in the name of freedom, and really just wanting to be left alone. Man. And not spied on. Breaking the law in order to violate people's rights, that's the new world normal.
Please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. I'm a human being. God damn it! My life has value!
We were warned.
The CIA relies heavily on the NSA's ability to gather vast quantities of email, phone calls, and other data to track down terrorists.
The CIA's drone program relies heavily on data the NSA provides. That includes phone calls, emails, and other forms of signals intelligence.
But we didn't listen, and now we live in a dystopia.
Like, why would you just use it on potential criminals or enemies of the state or what have you? Well, you could use it on the entire fucking population and make trillions of dollars in advertiser revenue. Well, what about when you talk about something and then you get an ad for that something that you've never seen an ad for before?
With email service providers and social media, we've long been told that if it's free, you're the product. But with the Internet of Things, it seems even if you pay, you're still the product.
A real-life science fiction